These are the abilities that will get you in motion. They'll be your helping guide in getting your first business started. Your likelihood of succeeding will skyrocket if you have at least 4 of them. In this video, we'll discuss the skills that every wealthy person has from an early age. We'll also go over which ones are the most crucial and how to get the most out of them. The first is resourcefulness. Your 9-to-5 job is draining your energy. You can't wait for the weekend to arrive, and each new Monday saps your joy. You have some side hustle ideas but don't know how to get started. From the moment you get home from work until you go to sleep, you have barely enough time to accomplish anything. You've read some books, watched some motivating videos, and read some Medium articles. However, you're exactly where you were last year. You're doing everything yourself at first. Because your budget is restricted or non-existent, you must make the most of what you have. Your day job limits your time as well. The majority of your resources are spent keeping you alive or entertaining you. This is when the first valuable talent, resourcefulness, enters the equation. It is defined as the ability to develop a rapid and ingenious solutions to problems. In other words, understanding what to do and how to do it. In the actual world, this corresponds to your ability to put your limited resources to good use. Each day, you may have only 3 to 4 hours of leisure time. You could have just a few dollars each week to work with. You could only know a few persons who can instruct you. Are you, however, making the most of them? Are you able to extract every last drop of value? People fall into the trap of believing that making something happen requires years of free time and a limitless credit score. What's more, it's merely just an excuse. The second point is decision making. Because you only have 2 things, resources to throw 2 things at a wall and the wall is far away, you can't afford to throw 10 things at it and see what sticks. So which ones are you going to throw? Making good decisions is a skill. It can be learned just like any other talent. Only 3 decisions have the most significant impact on your life. 1. How do you keep yourself going? 2. Where do you reside? And finally, with whom? These are difficult, life-altering decisions with significant emotional ramifications. They'll be the most difficult decisions you'll ever face with little to no preparation. However, you can improve your decision-making abilities by doing the following. Make as many decisions that can be reversed as possible. By reversible decisions, we mean those that are either not too costly or may be canceled if necessary. And don't wait for 5 to 10 seconds before making these choices. What are you having for dinner tonight? Where are you going to meet a friend? Which Airbnb should I book? These inquiries have a minor impact. In the larger scheme of things, they don't matter. We're sure you have friends who can't determine where to eat or how to dress in a timely manner. So develop the habit of making firmly and rapidly low-impact and reversible decisions. With time, it'll improve your decision-making capacities. And by the time you do have to make a major decision, you already made thousands of others. So let's move on to the next most important ability. Doing one thing exceptionally well is number 3. Almost every successful individual fails at a variety of tasks, but there's one thing they're particularly good at. They're top-notch. People pay them to learn how they do what they do. But what if you have no idea how to accomplish anything, let alone do it well? That's ideal. That implies you have a lot of options to choose from. You must realize that by 2022, there will be no skill that cannot be monetized under the right conditions. This will only become truer in the future. Just take a short glance at TikTok. People are becoming wealthy by presumably doing nothing worthwhile. You may even argue that they aren't giving anything to society, but does it really make much difference? Not everyone is obliged for protecting the planet. It's not necessary for everyone to create schools or attempt to teach the people. As long as you are doing your thing, causing no harm to others, and supporting yourself, all power to you. Actually, let's have a little conversation. A lot of people are hesitant to chase their passions since they aren't noble and don't look well on a CV. You can't have it all on your epitaph, some may remark. What will your friends think if they see you dancing on TikTok? Okay, so the reputable occupation is out the window. Anything you do to make money is legitimate as long as you're not harming anyone else in the process. 4th is resilience. This is one of the most crucial abilities on the list. The majority of people think progress looks like this. But you're smart, and you know it looks more like this. The issue is that you underestimate your ability to persevere through this section. This is the, "Oh, what am I doing?" line. This is when people become panicked and give up. You created a course, but it isn't selling well. You launched a YouTube channel, but after 6 months, you only have 50 views. You created something, but no one seems to care. This is, after all, a normal part of the process. And you'll go through this if you're beginning from scratch. It's the kind of stuff that's 100% certain. It's also not a one-off situation. This will happen every time you try something new, so perseverance is essential. Number 5 is bravery. Guts is a term that is hardly heard nowadays. After all, society teaches you to be cautious and even more cautious. Be at ease, don't go too far, and don't jeopardize anything. Why should you take the road less traveled? Based on traffic, this is the quickest route. So what exactly is bravery? By definition, courage is the ability to undertake something that makes you uncomfortable. In other words, courage is the ability to make a difficult decision, and the only time you can be courageous is when that decision is frightening. Are you willing to take that risk? Will you have enough faith in yourself to give yourself a chance and give it your all? Some people conflate bravery with inexperience or rash behavior. In actuality, it's the polar opposite. Having bravery involves preparing yourself so you can boldly say, "I prepared so much for this is my chance," when the time comes. Building a system is number 6. The rich and the poor share the same objectives. No one wants to fail, but the wealthy have a system in place to make that desire a reality. The system is the stairs if the goal is to reach the summit of the hill. Having a structure in place allows you to work on your business every day. Every day, there must be something you can do to move the ball ahead. It's like shooting in the dark and trying to hit something if you don't have a good system. You'll never know if you're actually making any progress. You have no way of knowing if you're on the correct track because you can't quantify anything. Deconstructing is number 7. You must learn to deconstruct in order to develop good system. Looking at the overall goal and breaking it down into smaller portions is what this entails. Our minds are designed to recognize patterns. That's why you can tie your shoes without thinking about it in the dark. You've broken down and repeated the activity enough times that it's second nature to you. Deconstructing Lego parts helps you understand how they fit together and how to reassemble them in building systems. Number 8 is sales. It is pretty obvious that you should learn to sell as soon as possible. Your every interaction is a sales pitch. You're selling yourself, your time, your energy, and your resources, not just your goods. Everything is a trade in some way. The sooner you understand this, the better. So spend some time to figure out how this value exchange works. Number 9, commitment. Simply said, commitment is a guarantee to your future self that you will follow through on your promises. It necessitates foresight and faith in one's own talents. You'll half-ass it and somewhat of pull it off without fully committing. You tell yourself, "This is what I decided to do," when you commit to something. Even if what you're doing doesn't seem like it's the right one for you, you must totally commit to it. Things will usually become evident after some time has passed. The last trait you must have is competitive advantage. Finding your competitive edge is the most difficult but also the most significant task on this list. How do you set yourself out from the competition? What distinguishes you as you? Being oneself is the greatest competitive edge somebody can have. Nobody can match Joe Rogan's ability to be Joe Rogan. So essentially, all you have to do now is figure out who you are and then bet big on yourself. All of these abilities can be learned, and after you've got them, you'll need to be able to maintain them. You make little to no money in the beginning. However, there comes a point where things are no longer sustainable. You must understand how that procedure works in your situation. If you're establishing a side hustle, for example, you'll be sustainable until your side activity generates the same amount of money as your day job. This is when you go from worker to entrepreneur. That's all that we have today. We hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us. Please do like and subscribe to ensure that you never miss another video.